What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tony, and today I am going to help you guys save a little bit of money. Especially you guys have the two-door, this is kind of more for the two-door. I'm not sure if it works on the JK. I'm going to guess it will. But if you guys have a Rubicon that is used and they swapped out the rock sliders with either some steps or anything, or just took them off for whatever reason, the factory Ruby rails, or if you guys have the lower kind of the other models, the Sport S, the wheelies comes with it, but some of them doesn't come with the Ruby rails. The wheelies comes with the Ruby rails, but when I bought this, they had the power steps on the Jeep, and those things are aluminum. I wanted something a little bit more heavy duty, so I have the Goat Fabrication rock sliders on here, which are amazing. You can use them as a step, but we have this pinch seam. Let me show you. So we have this ugly pinch seam being shown. Yeah, you can take some black spray paint and kind of hide it, but I prefer Ruby rails, and plus the Goat Fabrication actually uses the factory Ruby rails as a pivot point right here for their stuff to make it does help to make it stronger, but it just makes it look a lot cleaner, and you don't have the pinch seam showing and whatnot. So I personally like the look of it better than just having the pinch seam. Some people like it, but I've done some research. Let me focus in here. We have the 4-door rock sliders. You can actually cut these to fit a 2-door. One thing that drove me nuts, and I don't know why people think they have $1 million product. For some reason, when you go on a Facebook Marketplace to try to find 2-doors, it's almost virtually impossible for me without really traveling way over 100 miles to get some. Most of the time when I had parts, I just threw them away, or if I put them on sale, I just basically gave them away. You know, give me 50, 60 bucks or whatever. But it's stupid what people think that they own. Takeout parts are not worth anything to me, or they're not really worth. They're takeoff parts. They're just stuff that's takeoff parts are takeoff parts. They're not worth a lot of money, especially Ruby rails. Maybe the axles are worth something because that's a bigger item. But Ruby rails, I messaged a few people, say, hey, I'll pay you like 150, 200 bucks. A couple people were kind of whatever, but some people are like, no, I'm 500, 600 bucks. That's what they're worth. No, that's what buying them brand new is. Buying them from you is not it's not new. I don't care if it has a mile on it or not, but these are Ruby rails. There's no mileage on these. Yeah, you can probably show some scratches, whatever. They're rock sliders. Who cares? But so I guess some people really like to have them nice and shiny. But so for my research is, you can find 4-door Ruby rails any day, all day on there, and people are just trying to get rid of them. For like 100 bucks. So they're dirt cheap, and there are plenty of them out there. So from my research, saying that we can actually take the 4-door and chop them up, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna chop up the factory Ruby rails from a 4-door. Luckily, my buddy had a set that I'm gonna basically test it on. So let's get it ready. What I'm gonna end up doing, I'm gonna take off the rear tire. I'm gonna take off the rock slider. At first, I'm gonna jack it up, remove the rock slider, remove the tire, and then basically bolt on the or at least get the Ruby rail on there. So it's gonna kind of go the long way and kind of do my measurements that way. Versus then I know which side I am kind of working with, so I'm not chopping up the wrong side just in case. So yeah, let's jump into it. So just so you guys can see before I even cut it, everything lines up. This lines up perfectly. I mean, obviously it's shaped to the body, so that's going to be all right. But all the holes line up perfectly. Only thing that's really stopping me right now is the rotors. But So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of chop it a little, maybe just a tad short, but I'm going to chop it off right about here, just with a circular saw, and kind of go from there. But yeah, this works out good. And then just always remember to pull off this rear cap, and then it's going to be perfect. I'm kind of lining it up with this back hole right here. I'm going to cut right on this kind of this line right here, and then kind of going straight up with a circular saw or a grinder, and we will get that all kind of fitted up. I think this is going to be perfect. So that wasn't really that bad of a cut. We got that. Just because this one's lighter. I mean, it's thick, but it's all pretty hollow. So we just gotta pop this off, which is gonna be pretty easy. Kind of a little screwdriver or a flathead, and see, there's this little stopper right here. It is, you can't see it. It is kind of in there, but there you go. Yeah, see, I just gotta cut off. Just pull it, pops right out. Not that big of a deal. And then just slide it right on. Now you probably could put some silicone on it, or just drill a hole, and you can probably reuse that if you really care to. But then all you do, push it down like that, sits, and then one thing I would do is, before you actually put this on, grab some spray paint or a paint marker and touch up the metals just so you don't get the rust. But first, I want to see how this thing fits. I mean, you can't ask for, yeah, this is probably a little short end from my factory one, but you know, for basically eyeballing it, not too bad. And plus, it's just really just to really hide that seam and to really help it get the, that pivot point for my goat fab rock sliders. And so yeah, let's basically get this bolted on now. I gotta charge up my camera here real quick, but look how much nicer that looks. You got rid of the pinch seam, and this is what I mean by the goat fabs actually use this as a pivot point right here, and it makes it a lot stronger. And not only does it do it here where the mounts are for this one and the front, we also have a pivot point here, got a pivot point here. So now you're getting that little extra strength into help bouncing you away from like a rock, or you can use this against a tree and you're not going to worry about really doing too much damage to it. So it's nice. It's good. I like that. It looks like a way it should be. I just got to pop that off real quick and do a little touch up. Yeah, that actually worked out really well. So literally, you're just cutting off this little piece. One thing to kind of make sure is that you guys pay attention to, if you guys do this, make sure it says RH for right hand, and LH for left hand. So make sure you guys cut the right size or right side off. So that's why I kind of put it up there first. So yeah, it looks good. I'm actually really impressed on how easy that really was. I mean, like I said, it's literally, you're just cutting a little tube, and it's basically, that's all it is just a tube. So yeah, now just torque down your body bolts. If you guys, have this kind of rock slider, which is, I believe is like 80 foot-pounds of torque or something like that. I just had it up. Yeah, 80 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm going to tighten those things up, and then we're going to go do the other side, but I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow, just because I have some other stuff to get done. So I'll see you tomorrow. So it is the next day. I had to go to work, so I couldn't finish up the project. But I'm not even going to take off the rear tire. I know the cutting point now from measuring from the other side. So we're just going to cut the last point, and I'm going to show you guys where that little cutting part is. So on the 4 doors, there's a bolt that kind of goes up. So you have all the way here. So like I said on the last one, I am cutting like right on this line, right next to this, and going straight up. That's going to be the most easiest part, and it worked out perfectly on the last one. So we're going to do it the same size on this side, because you really just need to cut off from basically the last 2 feet of it. Everything else lines up perfectly, and so let's just go ahead, get this thing nice and cut, and get it bolted up. So now what you have to do is if you have these kind of rock sliders on, or if you don't have these kind of rock sliders, just bolt right on, and you're basically done. So I got to take these things off, and so like I said, it is such nice. I just cleaned up real quick. Didn't really think I need to record that, but I mean, that looks a lot better than just the pinch seam. Yeah, would have been fine. Yeah, of course, it would have been just fine. But it looks a lot cleaner. It looks a lot nicer. Just overall, super clean. I like it. But yeah, quit buying stuff off of the marketplace and paying stupid amount of money. Or if you're one of those people that take off parts and think they're gonna make a lot of money off of them, they're takeoff parts. They're not worth hardly anything. The only things that are probably actually worth something are the steel front bumpers, which I have on here. Those are worth some money. The rear steel bumper is worth a little bit of money, but the Ruby rails or anything like that, takeoff parts, are not worth a lot. So do yourself a favor, and if you can find some 2 doors, because around here I was having a hard time finding a set of 2 doors, even for $150 is probably max I would ever even pay for one. But 200, 500, I've seen some people try to make retail price brand new out of the box. They're not worth it. At that point, people are going to be paying for power steps or full bolt-on rock sliders where you're drilling into the body. Yeah, to me it's stupid, especially when a lot of like the wheelies, like I said, a lot of the wheelies and Rubicons come with them, and they just bolt right on. Like I said, and if you can't find anything, like for me, go find your set of 4 doors, because I see a ton of them out there, and people just want to get rid of them. $75. Ooh, man, you do that all day long. Most of the time, I just either give my takeoff parts away, or I throw them in the trash can, because one, I'm usually probably too lazy to even sell them, and I just don't care enough to make some money. I'd rather see somebody else use it and just help somebody out. I don't really care too much about making $1 off another Jeeper or another off-roader. But yeah, so yeah, that's what my highly recommended would do. Is if you can't find a 2-door rock sliders, buy some 4 doors, and just chop them, and they look quite nice. Like I said, you only need to take off like 2 feet, and they bolt right on. This back one is a little tiny short, but it's all right, not a big deal. So it worked out. I mean, it still looks good. I mean, from here you can't even tell that it's really short. Like the last one, it's all the way up here, but this one I cut just a tad short. It kind of lines up with the rear fender, so that's okay. I don't care. It's gonna do its purpose anyway. So I mean, it's only like an inch off. So so that's what I have for you today. I still got a whole stack full of boxes right here. We have the Apex power steering. We have power stops, another Apex up here. We still have the ball joints back here to do, and we've got our some wiring up to do. So I got a few videos still. I got to get moving on. So yeah. So on that note, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.